And let me start by quoting from a review of this novel, Atlas Shrugged, that appeared in Newsweek. It said that you are out to destroy almost every edifice in the contemporary American way of life. Our Judeo-Christian religion, our modified government-regulated capitalism, our rule by the majority will. Other reviews have said that you scorn churches and the concept of God. Are these accurate criticisms?
Yes, I agree with the facts, but not the estimate of this criticism. Namely, if I am challenging the base of all these institutions, I'm challenging the moral code of altruism, the precept that man's moral duty is to live for others, that man must sacrifice himself to others, which is the present-day morality.
What do you mean by sacrifice himself for others? We're getting to the point.
One moment. Since I'm challenging the base, I necessarily would challenge the institutions you named, which are a result of that morality.
All right.
And now what is self-sacrifice?
Yes, what is self-sacrifice? You say that you do not like the altruism by which we live. You like a certain kind of Ayn Randist selfishness.
I would say that I don't like is too weak a word. I consider it evil. And self-sacrifice is the precept that man needs to serve others in order to justify his existence, that his moral duty is to serve others. That is what most people believe today.
Well, yes, we're taught to feel concerned for our fellow man, to feel responsible for his welfare, to feel that we are, as religious people might put it, children under God and responsible one for the other. Now, why do you rebel? What's wrong with this philosophy?
But that is what, in fact, makes man a sacrificial animal. That man must work for others, concern himself with others, or be responsible for them. That is the role of a sacrificial object. I say that man is entitled to his own happiness and that he must achieve it himself, but that he cannot demand that others give up their lives to make him happy. And nor should he wish to sacrifice himself for the happiness of others. I hold that man should have self-esteem.
A most important question. Please do. It's agitating all the social circles of London, and rumors are flying around about it. It concerns the little disagreement. It is supposed to have taken place between Madame Callas and the misguided director of opera in New York. Now, one of the most startling rumors is that Miss Madame Callas is supposed to have hit the gentleman on the head with a bottle of brandy. I want to know if that's true or not. His people have written so much. God only knows. I would advise whoever reads the newspaper not to believe I'm half of the house. I don't believe anything, because when I read it, I have the shocks of my life. Well, was it a bottle of something else, madam? But I never threw anything at bed. Unfortunately, I wish I did. It would be a shame for the bottle, you know, really.
I would love you.
There is a faceless woman looking for me, wanting to be with me, but I don't know about her for the moment. However, another woman knows about the situation and doesn't tell me. I somehow find out, then the first faceless woman and I end up seeing each other, and I say I already know her, but then again maybe I don't. A lot of people are in a big hollow concert venue. There is a Q&A session about metal music. My friend Tyler asks a question. I don't hear it, but I then ask him a question which is something like, what are good examples of metal music, and what exactly is metal itself? There also is a general debate about metal in the 90s, and about if certain bands are really metal. For some reason, I leave before Tyler finishes answering the question I asked him, and, when I come back there is almost no one left. So I go up some wooden stairs to look for him. But the stairs go up too high, and I have to jump to get off them. As I jump, I think I see Tyler with other people, businessmen and businesswomen, drinking cocktails. However, I don't join them and go to a newsstand instead, where I decide to hide during the Q&A session, or perhaps just after it. There were some important events in my company. A colleague called Rebecca is told that she will become the boss of something. The company name isn't given, but she's not sure herself, because the decision had been made just before the previous boss died. At the same time, there is an apparently secret meeting involving people who design technical manuals. These workers, both men and women, have very big cartoonish faces and look quite old. They seem to be very intelligent and proud of what they do. Many people are gathered outside the meeting rooms of either the shareholders of Rebecca's future company or the writers. These external people are waiting for something to happen in a long corridor, while the 8 or maybe 10 writers talk and argue. They now look puzzled, but don't seem to know or care about the decision regarding Rebecca, which is still being taken. I remember a time in my life, but I don't know if it was true or a dream, when I spent a night or possibly even several nights with Nicole Kidman. And Nicole Kidman may very well have been a part of the second dream herself, because she comes out of a place which looks a bit like the room with the manual authors. She has a lot of writing on her body, like thin tattoo lines made of gray letters. In fact, there are unreadable words or sentences which seem to be penciled all over her skin. She sees me and says she remembers me, either from real life or from a dream, or from a dream within a dream. She cannot stay because she says she's very busy. However, we managed to get out of the building we were in. We stayed together and it's now nighttime. At that moment a stranger tries to push Nicole Kidman, and another woman quickly saves her. I intervene too, but too late to do anything, and I feel guilty about not having helped her. Nicole Kidman tells me it's okay, and that it's a shame that we don't have more time to be together. Either she or I or both of us start reminiscing about our previous time or times together, and I ask her if these memories are true or a dream, and she says that it all was true. It's still nighttime and we are still outside, walking, but there are chairs and benches. I sit on one of these chairs, but it's quite small, so she then sits on my lap. And we kiss.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
She said yes, but married drugs. She smiles less around sea slugs. She worried about stories. Then buried those memories. Deep within, never bothered. Born to win, dead a crack nerd. Janky dreams, the mud, the dirt. Ocean screams, terribly hurt. Once she thought the others knew. Now she's caught a killer flu. Twice she died on pirate ships. Friends all lied or sealed their lips. High and drunk, thirsty and poor. She's a punk, a queen no more. Seducing underwater. No more ring, no more finger. Thoughts of death, a lust for life. Crystal meth, Swiss Army knife. Lost at sea, alone at last. Hopefully the worst has passed. Poor white trash, tragic drug need. Hash to ash, weed to seaweed. Coming in progressive waves. Fish cough in romantic graves. Too cold to move, not too old not to care. Unable to try a damn thing. Beware. Resisting the death of love is useless. Unsustainable nightmares of madness. The bittersweet tears of her wasted years have frozen in time. The dream reappears. Still got the supercontinental blues. Under this ice, there is too much to lose.
about deep thoughts Anna had. Her seriousness, especially her self-criticism. It was quite a different Anna I had known as my daughter. She never really showed this kind of inner feeling. She talked about many things, criticized many things, but what really their feelings were, I only could see from the diary. And my conclusion is, as I had been in very, very good terms with Anna, that most parents don't know really their children.
In these days when young people want so earnestly to make their own decisions, it is most comforting and gratifying for me to have been invited directly by you and not derivatively through administrative decision. The tragic events of recent months, starting with the assassination of my late husband, Martin Luther King Jr., in Memphis, Tennessee, and followed in exactly 2 months by the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in Los Angeles, California, cause us to realize that the very fabric of which our society is woven is being torn away. These men have been eulogized as great men, as loyal Americans and dedicated servants of humanity, one black and one white, both young men, both devoted to mothers and cousins. My profession, one was a minister who sought to change society by moral persuasion through love and nonviolence. The other was a political leader who sought to change society through the political process. Both methods are necessary and highly legitimate. These two men addressed themselves to the burning issues of our times. They spoke out against great evils in our society: racism, poverty, and war. They were great and effective actors on the stage of history. They played their parts exceedingly well, thus inspiring millions. They are part of that creative minority which helped to move society forward. And so I must say that many of the young feel as I do, that official responses to the frightful, to the personally painful assassinations of these past months have been inadequate. Has not power heard the grim tidings, the anguish from the ghettos, rural slums, the battlefields, the violence which periodically shocks us in a reflection of the violence to which we have become immune? It is a reflection of the violence our media celebrate. It is, I say, with all due respect to the office of the President of the United States, that even intense prayer and a new commission of delegates will not ease the violence in our lives. It is time for both fresh ideas and new leadership to come forward, because without it, our society is on sinking sand. Historians of the future may record that the alliance of the civil rights movement with the student movement that began in the late 1950s and matured into broad political and social action in the 60s was the salvation of the nation. I am a religious person in the most unqualified sense of the word, but I will say emphatically that there is more moral vitality and honest searching for values of life animating the campuses today than there can be found in our churches. The world was in survive. We may triumph.
Every year, we herald the coming of Christmas by turning on the lights. And light does more than create a festive mood. Light brings hope. For Christians, Jesus is the light of the world. But we can't celebrate his birth today in quite the usual way. People of all faiths have been unable to gather as they would wish for their festivals, such as Passover, Easter, Eid, and Vaisakhi. But we need life to go on. Last month, fireworks lit up the sky around Windsor as Hindus, Sikhs, and Jains celebrated Diwali, the Festival of Lights, providing joyous moments of hope and unity despite social distancing. Remarkably, a year that has necessarily kept people apart has in many ways brought us closer. We continue to be inspired by the kindness of strangers and draw comfort that even on the darkest nights, there is hope in the new dawn. Of course, for many, this time of year will be tinged with sadness, some mourning the loss of those dear to them, and others missing friends and family members distanced for safety, when all they'd really want for Christmas is a simple hug or a squeeze of the hand. If you are among them, you are not alone. And let me assure you of my thoughts and prayers. The Bible tells how a star appeared in the sky, its light guiding the shepherds and wise men to the scene of Jesus' birth. Let the light of Christmas, the spirit of selflessness, love, and above all hope, guide us in the times ahead. It is in that spirit that I wish you a very happy Christmas.
always alone in there that she decides to visit me at some points in there. I'm really not sure.
Lost in the past, a servant, a master.
insufferably rude, goes out of his way to insult me.